Hey everyone, it's Yaship. I know I haven't released a video in a very long time, but I needed to get in God's will first before I started releasing any more videos. Before I was, you know, there was just a lot of, I guess you could call it my wilderness, my wilderness moment, where Yahweh Himself was just sifting the things from my life that needed to be taken out and correcting me. Lots of convictions had started, even though like the videos I release is not really about anything negative and the revelations were valid. But still, like we I have to, um the body of Christ, everybody has to move in his will, and we can't just be doing things just because we feel. But I'm going to be talking about a topic that may be very hard for some people to accept. Why? I don't know, really. Deception and delusion is running rampant in this world. Clearly, we can see it with just how the school systems are going. I'm talking about America in particular. I live in America, so there's just a lot of wickedness going on. I'm just praying that the Most High just saves his people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to get out of here already, but, I don't want to push it forward fast. That's not his will. His will is for everyone to be saved. He doesn't want anyone to perish. It's in his word. So, you know, it took me, what was it, like 22, 23 years to be saved. I got saved in 2019. So I was saved, but I still, still a lot of things that I had to correct in my life. And he's been just showing me not only just convictions that he's been giving me, but, the Most High uses like I would say like my my mentors, in the body of Christ, the elders. He's been using the elders to correct me. They're not really that old, but they're older than me and they've been saved longer than me, and they get such powerful revelations, dreams, visions. They hear audibly from the Most High, like, what I'm saying. I'm trying to, I still consider myself like a a level 3 Christian, what I'm saying? Like, I'm just in the game, what I'm saying? But like I'm trying to get up there where I'm I get just all the gifts of oh man, everything he could give me, everything that he wants to give me. Like I just want like the intimacy with Jesus that like we gotta be like this. That's what I'm aiming for, and I still need to do plenty of fasting. I need to be fasting, praying, reading the word, not using I don't have any more social medias. Like all I have is YouTube now, so it's like yeah. But I wanted to start with this verse in particular, the verse that everybody uses. This is the verse that everybody should have memorized, right? So this is in the book of John, chapter 14, verse 6, and it reads, Jesus saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father, no man cometh unto Abba, but by me. So I got a revelation when I don't know, I was just thinking about something. I was thinking about how difficult it was for me to read the Old Testament and how easier it was for me to read the New Testament. And even then, it's not easy to really read the New Testament, because remember to use your KJV Bible. I approve of the NLT. But the NIV, no, they are taking away his word in that book. I don't know. The people, oh man, pray for them, because You taking away his word? Ooh, good luck to you when you get judged, man. You better repent. You better come out to the world, be like, don't read this one. Like, you better go in, because you taking away from his word. I don't know. But anyways, I read the KJV. I read the Brenton's Septuagint version, and sometimes I read the NLT if I have difficulty understanding what it's saying. This is old English, so sometimes I'm like, huh? Like, what are you saying, Father? And then I read the NLT and I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. But anyways, like, in this verse, in verse 6, I'm gonna also use his restored name. I call him Yahshua. Okay, he is Yahshua HaMashiach. So I call him Yahshua. I don't call him Jesus. Jesus is like the Greek version of his name, though it still means, the similar. He's the savior, sent by God, But I just rather use his restored name because, the Most High said that knowledge will increase during these times, during the end, right? So it's not just the demonic knowledge that we see now where, like, they're using like stem cells to like put into people's body to regenerate cells and all this other stuff, like SpaceX trying to get up to the moon. They trying to crash the firmament. It ain't working. They gonna keep trying though. They gonna keep trying. They gonna keep failing though. They're not gonna do it. The Most High is not gonna let them do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can't get past that. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But anyways, so Yahshua told everyone, he said, I am the way, I am the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. So the revelation I got from that was that you cannot understand the ways of the Most High if you don't have Yahshua in you. You just can't. You cannot do it. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have his spirit in you in order for you to even understand the Bible. Because there are many people who study the Bible, where one of my brothers in Christ, he was talking about it, right? He was saying that, like, there's so many people who study the Bible. There are scholars that study the Bible. But do they get the revelations we get? No, because they don't have Yahshua in them. Yahshua lives inside of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have his spirit in us. So he gives us revelation about his word. It's just like, it's fun. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, when you get hit with a revelation, you're just kind of like, ooh, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's just like a weird feeling inside. Not a weird, like an epiphany inside of you. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like when you finally understand something, you're like, oh, like, duh. Like, that makes sense. But of course you didn't understand it years ago, but you understand it now because you got that revelation. But yeah. So I say, I'm bringing up this verse in particular because, I feel like the Most High has been prepping me since I was in high school for this moment right here. You know what I'm saying? I've been, I wouldn't say deeply researching, but I have eyes to see. He gave me eyes to see. When I was in high school, I used to do like a lot of researching about like the Illuminati, the Freemasons, all this stuff, but I was still in that bubble. Like, I didn't know more truths past that. And then, like, it started from there, and then it went to the flat earth theory, and I started researching things about that, about things that just big question marks, you know what I'm saying, for me, just big question marks. So I had those type of understandings back then. Like, I knew this world was run by people who did not believe in Jesus. They believed in Satan. Like, I already had that understanding. I already understood that they put their messages in different things, you know what I'm saying, to make it look like he knows how to tell the future, whatever, like, just lies after lies, you know what I'm saying. Just different things that to make it look like he can, but it's all just to deceive the world. You know what I'm saying? He used different religions to deceive the world as well. He's been doing this for a long time. You know what I'm saying? He is still not judged. The devil himself is going crazy. He's like, he's just like, I'm sure he don't want to get judged. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to find a way out type of thing. But no, you're going to get judged. You're going to get judged. You go into that lake of fire along with everyone else who followed you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like in search of the truth, you know, when you find Jesus, you find truths. And for some reason, like the Most High has just been teaching me a lot of things very fast. A lot of truths very fast. So I wanted to talk about a particular truth in a topic that's been popularized right now with Kanye and Kyrie. And it's the truth about the Hebrews. So I'm gonna get into my slideshow right now, because yes sir, this is a truth. This is a big truth. And when you understand this truth, a lot of things make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like when you read the Bible, it makes sense. Am I saying I'm a Hebrew? I don't know. You know, that hasn't been revealed to me by the Most High. I do have a sister in the Messiah who was like, oh yeah, you're 144,000, you know, because you got all. I've told her dreams that I've gotten. But anyway, you know, I'm not saying anything. I'm just like, I just know that this is a truth, and it's a truth that has to come out, because I feel like the Most High, just my upbringing, like from what I've seen with my own eyes, I've studied, I've experienced, just it's this truth is, I don't know why it's so hard for people to accept. It's kind of weird too, because like the world really just dislikes anyone with any African features. Like it's very weird. I'm Dominican. My mom and dad are from the Dominican Republic in the Caribbean. So it's just a lot of, just from what I've seen, it's a lot of colorism. It's a lot of isms, featureisms, like just it's just a lot of hate for, you know, anyone with African features around the world, like in China, in Japan, in Britain, in Germany. It's just a lot of countries in the Caribbean itself. You got black people hating on black people just because of variation in phenotypes. Like it's crazy. But this is a truth that has to get out, you know? The true Hebrews. So let's get into it, right? So I'm starting this video with this verse, right? Well, this slideshow, not this video. I started with the other verse in John, but I'm starting this presentation with this verse in Revelation chapter 2 verse 9, right? And that reads, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews. Jews are from Judah. That's what they're claiming. They're claiming they're from the tribe of Judah, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, right? So these people that they're claiming they're from the tribe of Judah, right? They say they are Jews. So in the book of Revelation, it's so interesting. See, this is how you know, like, Jesus is God. Like, this is how you know Yahshua, he already knows everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, so much so that this book that came out centuries ago is talking about what's happening right now. Like, it's so crazy. And he is stating that the ones that call themselves Jews, that everybody knows call themselves Jews, are not from the tribe of Judah, but are of the synagogue of Satan. It's crazy. And we know that from just looking at the Jews, of the ones that claim they're Jews, right? Just by, you know, the way they worship, it's very religious. That's one standpoint. Um, Most of them do not even read the word. We know that for a fact. A lot of them just be partying, they be doing whatever they want, they be smoking, they be drinking. I'm not pointing fingers at them. I'm not saying that we're not doing the same, but it's just so weird that you claim to have been reunited in the country of Israel, but yet your people are still sinning and they're still doing a lot of demonic things. They're not following God's will at all. So how did God himself bring you there? Or at least you claim he reunited you there, and your people are still, there's no peace on that land. There's no peace on that land. Your people are still living wickedly, and you claim the Most High did it, which he didn't. It wasn't by his hand. He didn't split no sea. He didn't part no rock. He didn't do nothing. It was the world governments that put you guys there. So it's a lot of just shadiness with this group of people. And I look at them with a big side eye. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's keep going, right? So let's look into how the Bible, how the Bible describes Judah phenotypically, right? We're going to use the Old Testament, starting off with the Old Testament, right? The Torah, which is what they read, or they claim to read, right? Let's go. So we have the tribe of Judah. In the tribe of Judah, we have Solomon, right? So how did Solomon himself describe himself, right? Like, how did Solomon describe himself, right? So if we go to the Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5, he states clearly, he says, I am black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. So if he's black, then how do we get this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of interesting. It's just interesting how they try to rationalize this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like Solomon was like, I'm light skinned and my hair's straight. Like, he just straight up said, I am black. Like, it's just funny. Like, I don't know. Solomon is just, he was very conceited. That's one thing I know. Because he was like, but comely, like, he looks good. So yeah, he knows it, and he black. You know what I'm saying? Solomon is just an interesting character all around. But anyways, so that's how Solomon described himself, right? So who in this world do we call black? Anyways, let's keep going, right? So we're gonna still use Solomon, right? Tribe of Judah. Let's keep going. So this is Songs of Solomon, chapter 5, from verse 10 to 11, right? Excuse me. So in the Songs of Solomon, it's Solomon plus another woman. So the woman is describing him and her love for him, and Solomon's describing his love for her and describing himself and all this stuff, right? So this is her describing him, right? So she calls him my kinsman. So she's like, my kinsman is white and ruddy, chosen out from myriads. His head is as very fine gold. His locks are flowing, black as a raven. So pretty. Anybody who likes poetry should just like read this. They're so descriptive back then. They were so like intelligent. Like, I don't know. Let me just keep going. So she said, my kinsman is white and ruddy. So we have, this is also from the Burton Septuagint translation. This is not the KJV. So she said, my kinsman is white. So I put a white person here, right? This is white. This is what everybody considers white, right? Plus, she said, and ruddy. So when you look at ruddy means like a reddish color, like a red color. You can see the horse here, the cow, the people, the duck, right? That's a ruddy color, right? And then she describes his hair. She said, his locks are flowing and they're black. So I just put up a man who has a ruddy like skin mixture, right? He's not a deep dark, right? But he's not light skin, You know what I'm saying? He's not white either. He's like a mixture of those two colors. He's like a dark, white mixed together, right? Like a reddish red, right? But then he also has locks. So I put a man that has locks, right? So just from her description, you don't see white people commonly have locks. Not even back then. Like, that was just not like a common thing for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas black people's hair, the Hebrews of America, right? A lot of them lock their hair. And you find this in the Caribbean, you see this in South America, anywhere where you find a large amount of African American people or African descendants, or like that's what they call them now, because a lot of them are scattered and we don't know where they are exactly, and who is who exactly. I will get into more of why I say it like that later, but anyways, so the Solomon's woman describes him as being ruddy white, so he's mixed, right? That's what she says. He's like a mixture, and he has locks in his hair. So we can see he probably looks like this, or he could just be a little lighter skin, like a little darker than me. You know what I'm saying? A little darker than me, but with locks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a ruddy and white mixture with locks. That's how he is described, right? So he is not described as having straight hair. He's not described as having blue eyes. He's not described as having pale white skin, Whereas if you keep reading Solomon, the Songs of Solomon, Solomon describes the woman as having like porcelain white, like ivory skin. So he's describing her as being white. So the woman that's describing him right now, she's white. She's of a lighter complexion. So, but this is how she described him, right? So we can assume he's somewhere in this category, maybe a little lighter, because she said white mixed, you know what I'm saying? And we know Judah is mixed, you know what I'm saying? Judah in itself, they mix a lot with the Gentiles. Some of them mix with Hamites, a lot, you know what I'm saying? Solomon himself, God told Solomon, Yah told Solomon, he was like, do not take strange women, for they're gonna lead your heart, away from him. Which they did. They led Solomon's heart away from the Most High, to the point where Solomon built their gods, like houses of like worship for their gods. I don't know. Solomon was tripping. Solomon had so much money, so much wisdom, and the fact that he just bowed down and built houses for Satan, like for worship, like it's just crazy. My head, but anyway, we gonna leave him alone. But that's how Solomon was described, right? I just find it interesting. Like, we can easily correlate to like how the Hebrews described lighter skinned black people, or like people who are probably like a little red, like they would call them ruddy looking. It's just interesting that like here in America, if you come out a little light skin or whatever, they call you red bone or whatever. So it's just like that correlation is interesting. Being that they are the Hebrew people, it's funny that they still use the same like vernacular that they used to describe the Hebrews back then. They all use red, ready, ruddy, whatever. Just funny. So we're gonna go on to, we're gonna stay in Judah, right? So this is David now. We're gonna see how David is described in the Bible, in the Torah, Old Testament. So in 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 42, it reads, "And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth and ruddy and of a fair countenance." So again, we have the ruddy description of Judah, the ruddy skin tones, right? We have the same thing with Solomon. Makes sense. Like father, like son. You know what I'm saying? They both have the same reddish brownish skin tone, right? That's how I would describe this color. Like, I don't know. It's the same color that you see in the Native Americans, which is, Native Americans are interesting too, because A lot of the Native Americans back then, they had the same, not back then, but like, not to say like they, I don't see them really doing it as much anymore. Um, but anyways, like they had similar feast days to the Hebrews, but I'm gonna go into that later. It's just Native Americans are interesting, but they have like that reddish skin tone, which makes sense. That you know, because they looked like a mixture. You know what I'm saying? When you mix a white person with a black person, you sometimes get someone that looks almost like Native American. You know what I'm saying? Like they have like that, those like tan skin, I would say. I mean, their hair varies though. Sometimes their hair is curly, sometimes it's straight, whatever. But they look like a mixture of a people though, in general. But that's aside from the point. David is ready. That's how the Philistine described him, right? So, okay, let's keep going. So now both Solomon and David are ready, right? So both of them are not white, and on top of that, Solomon had locks. So we can see like the texture of Solomon's hair. But then something interesting that came up, and I when I was watching the Gates of Hudla's channel, I don't think that's how you say her name. Hudla. Anyways, I'm gonna show her channel at the end of this video, but she had brought up such a good point. So there is a mistranslation in the KJV. So the KJV in itself is not like the most perfect translation of the Greek or Hebrew Bible. I think it was the New Testament was translated from Greek to Old English, and the Old Testament was the Hebrew translated to um, Old English, right? So there could be a lot of little mistranslations here and there. And this is one that she caught. I'm like, wow, some people really have an eye. But okay, so I'm gonna read this verse to you, and this is in 1 Samuel chapter 19 verse 13 in the KJV. This is how it's read in the KJV, right? So it says, and Michal, so Michal is Saul's daughter. So and Michal took an image. Why she got an image? Not supposed to have an image, Michal. But anyways, she took an image and laid it in the bed and put a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster and covered it with a cloth. So goat's hair, right? Well, just keep a note on that, right? Goat's hair. That's how it's read in the KJV, right? But when you go to the Brenton Septuagint version, it reads as, and Michal took images and laid them on the bed, and she put the liver of a goat by his head and covered them with clothes. And Saul sent messengers to take David, and they say that he is sick. And he sends to David, saying, bring him to me on the bed, that I may slay him. So Saul's trying to kill David, and Michal, his own daughter, is helped David escape during this part, right? So he say, bring him to me that I may slay him. And the messengers come, and behold, the images were on the bed. So it wasn't just one image. Here it says images, right? So the images were on the bed, and the goat's liver at his head. So what was Michal, Saul's daughter, doing with images? Excuse me? Are you not supposed to be with the Most High? We're not supposed to be having any graven images. What you doing, right? So on top of that, she has a goat's liver. So when you do like a deeper study on this, you realize this is a pagan practice from Babylon. A lot of Babylonians did this. I'm sure people of today carry on this weird tradition of the liver. I don't know what they be doing nowadays, but you can see in Ezekiel what they used to do with the liver. It was kind of like, I'm gonna just read it to y'all, and y'all can make your own conclusions, because these people was weird. But anyways, so in the Brenton Septuagint in Ezekiel chapter 21 verse 21, it says, for the king of Babylon shall stand on the old way at the head of the two ways to use divination. So he's using witchcraft right here, some type of witchcraft. He's talking to demons or whatever, to make bright the arrow, and to inquire of the graven images, and to examine the victims. Now, in the victims here, it says here, in the new KJV, it says, for the king of Babylon stands at the parting of the road, at the fork of the two roads, to use divination. He shakes the arrows, he consults the images, he looks at the liver. All right, so we get the liver again here, and it's used to examine the victims, right? He's talking to the graven images. So what are these graven images are? What are they called, right? So when you go into the Bible, go into your Bible hub, right? You can kind of see there's a footnote at the bottom where it says, like, if you search up this verse in Ezekiel, oh, excuse me, not Ezekiel, what was the verse here? Oh, in Samuel, 1 Samuel 19, right? So we could go here, drop down, go to 1 Samuel, and then go to 19. It's just called BibleHub.com, and then you can look at it in the New King James Version. And you drop down to verse 13. You see here, so it says, so Michael let David down through a window, and he went and he fled and he escaped. And Michael took an image. So there's a little footnote here next to image, and when you go down right here, it says household idols, a teraphim. So you're like, okay, what's a teraphim? If you look up on Google Images, a teraphim, this is what Michael put on David's bed to disguise, to make it look like David was in the bed. She put a bunch of idols, a bunch of statues on a bed, and then she put a goat's liver next to it. You know what I'm saying? So that, of course, makes you think, okay, so they're not trying to make it look like his hair, like when you see a TV show and they're like, oh shoot, we gotta make it look like he's still in the bed, and they get like a wig or something and make it look like his hair. A lot of us would think like that, at least that's the way I was thinking of it when I read this verse, but it's actually not the hair that she took. She took the liver of a goat, which is even more sick. But anyways, lets you know that Saul's daughter was into some other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, she weird. But then it makes you think about, why would they even put that mistranslation in there, because it's like everybody knows a goat's hair is straight, you know what I'm saying, whereas a sheep's hair is woolly. But yeah, on top of that, like, the Most High doesn't ever really he uses a goat and a sheep to like separate the body, you know what I'm saying? The sheeps follow him, whereas the goats are like, it's just interesting that she took a goat's liver. I don't know. Anyway, and then they try to make it look like it was the goat's hair when it wasn't the hair. But anyways, I don't blame the translators. They probably did the best they could. Probably got a lot of attacks trying to write this Bible. But I think the KJV is still like one of the more honest versions of the Bible. So we can skip that. So we know that wasn't talking about his hair. That was talking about the goat's liver, which makes sense because she had those idols. So she was doing some demonic activity. But yeah, we could keep going. So now we're going to talk about how Daniel saw the Messiah, right? And remember, Yahshua or Yahushua, he came from the tribe of Judah, from David's line, right? So this is how Daniel saw the Messiah. So let's read it, right? This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 9, right? And it reads, and I beheld until the thrones were set, and the Ancient of Days sat, and his raiment was white as snow, and the hair of his head as pure wool. His throne was a flame of fire, and his wheels burning fire. This is just so cool. That's how like the Messiah showed Daniel himself. But anyways, so you got to see, this is how Daniel saw the Messiah. So the head of his hair, right? The hair on his head, the hair on his head was described as being as pure wool. So anybody knows that there's a particular group that has woolly hair that looks like sheep's hair. It's a particular group. You could be mad or whatever. If the Messiah looks like this and he comes from Judah's line, then how can the people look the way they look now? That don't even make sense. Even geographically, it doesn't make sense. Like, how are you guys so white and you live in one of the hottest places in the world? Y'all live literally in the Middle East is like a desert. It's crazy that they even try to deduce that they came from this line. Like, I don't even know how they do it, because you need melanin to live in hot places. Like, that's just a fact. Like, you need it, or else you're gonna live on sunscreen for the rest of your life, because your skin cannot take that much sun. But anyways, pure wool, a group of people that we know have this particular woolly hair. You know what I'm saying? Same like the Messiah. The Messiah has woolly hair. So this is not how the Roman Catholic Church depicted Jesus. Like, that's just straight up. Like, that was a fat lie that they fed to us for so many years. I can't even, it's on candles. They got it in stores selling as a poster. They have frames for it. Like, they got this thing up. Like, there's people who have this up on their stores. It's crazy. Like, that image alone is like, we're not even supposed to be making an image, but that image alone is like so demonic. It's crazy. That's not even Jesus. I don't know who that man is. They say it's Caesar Borgia, whoever that other man is, but that's not Jesus, because Jesus is described here by Daniel as having hair like wool. So that's a lie. That other Jesus is a lie. So now I'm going to start reading from the New Testament in the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14 through 15 in the KJV, right? And this is describing Jesus again, the Messiah. So it says, his head and his hair were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they were burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. Not only does it say his hairs were woolly, again it describes his hair as being woolly, right? And his hair was white and woolly. But now in the New Testament, in the book of Revelation, it goes further and describes the Messiah's skin tone. And it says his feet like unto fine brass, as if they were burned in a furnace. So they didn't stop by just saying brass. Because you could search up right now. You could search up brass, like, on Google Images. You could search up copper on Google Images. You'll see what it looks like. And then he went further and said it as if it was burned in a furnace. So this is burnt brass, right? So is this the image of someone who has burnt brass skin? I mean, woolly hair? Is this the image of I mean, come on. Like, honestly, we have to be telling ourselves, like, man, we've really been lied to. This is crazy. And mind you, back then, I didn't care what the Messiah looked like. I didn't think he looked like this anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because when I read that we cannot make any images, I read that like that, and I'm like, no images. But still, like, even when you have like a cross, like, they even make the outline of his hair on like the little statue, they make it straight. Like, it's just a bunch of lies on lies. So it's like, would he look like this, or does this description look more like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, burnt brass skin, woolly hair. I'm not making an image here, but I'm just saying, if we would compare these two images and try to deduce which one looked more like this verse, it would be this one over here. You know what I'm saying? Because he described them as being burnt brass. You can even search up on Google Images. You can look up burnt brass. It has like this brownish, darkish, color to it. Mind you, like, my skin, I'm not burnt brass. You know what I'm saying? Like, my hair is more of a woolly type, coily type, but my skin is not. So it's like, I don't know why people get so about this topic. Like, I'm not even joking about this. It's like, it's not even that important, but it's so sad that it is important because the devil has used race. That's the devil's card right there. Like, race, and it worked. Oh, it worked. It worked. The amount of people who just hate another nation just because of the color of their skin is crazy. And mind you, the Most High doesn't look at color either. He doesn't. He doesn't look at color. You know what I'm saying? He said he's going to judge the nations. So he's going to judge the Dominican Republic. He's going to judge Ghana. He's going to judge the nations. You know what I'm saying? The nations. So he's not going to be like, I'm judging all of those who are yellow in America. He's never going to say that. He's not going to say that. I don't know what, I don't know. But anyways, this is the description in the book of Revelation. And I think there's a reason why it's in the book of Revelation, because there's so much hate for black people. There's such a hate. It's such an unnecessary hate. And honestly, when people truly see the Messiah the way he really looks, people are going to be stunned. They're going to feel a type of way. They're going to say Jesus is Lord anyway. So when they see him, not only are they going to have that shock of, oh man, this image that they force fed was a lie, but you're going to see Yahshua himself, when the seal gets broken and a lot of craziness happens, earthquakes, eclipses, everything coming, and that he coming, and that he gonna save his people. Crazy. But anyways, right, so we're gonna continue with the curses of Deuteronomy. I have to say that really slow for some reason, because I always butcher it if I say it fast. Deuteronomy. Okay. So chapter 28 verse 68, right? And I'm reading from the Brenton's Septuagint version. Okay. I'm like, wait, why is it not clicking? It's because I clicked out of it. Anyways, so it reads, and Adonai shall bring thee back to Egypt in ships, by the way of which I said, thou shalt not see it again. And ye shall be sold there to your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, aka slaves, and none shall buy you, right? So the Most High clearly said, you're gonna go back to Egypt in ships. So now that doesn't make a lot of sense, right? With the current Jews, I say. It doesn't make sense with the current Jews, right? I'm thinking of it they never were in ships. When I saw actually Stephen Darby brought this verse up, and I'm like, this is brilliant. Because they never went back to Egypt in ships. They never went back in ships. Even when the Holocaust was happening, they didn't go in ships. They went in trucks. They didn't go in ships. So are you calling the Most High a liar? Because y'all ain't go in ships. So how was this fulfilled? Because they say it was fulfilled in the World War II. They saying this whole thing was fulfilled then. I'm like, huh? How? You guys were never slaves, The people who came from the transatlantic ships, slave ships, right? Those people became slaves. Those people were bond women and men. You know what I'm saying? And those people were taken strategically. They knew who they were taking. They didn't just take a bunch of random people, you know what I'm saying, from the coast of Africa, and it was just no. They strategically, the first group of people they took were specifically the Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end it says, and none shall buy you. So not like servitude. That's what the Most High is saying. You're not going to be a servant. Whereas, you're indebted to someone, you owe them money, you can't pay them back. This is in the old times, right? You can't pay them back, so you have to be a servant to them for a time, or like 7 years, whatever. Like, however they discussed it, that's, what I'm saying. You were basically a servant to them for a time, and then you would be free if a man decided to buy you out. You know what I'm saying? He decided to give you the money so you could bail out and you could just, live your life. He said, and none shall buy you. That's very descriptive. Nobody is going to help you, which is true. No man is helping African Americans. Like no man. Like, I don't see a handout nowhere. I didn't see no reparations. Do you know they don't want to give nobody, no Hebrew, a reparation? They don't want to give no reparations out. They're like, no, we're not gonna do it. They help Native Americans out, right? They help Native Americans out. Even when the Japanese came here and they put them in camps, they still helped them out and gave them money. But the Hebrews that they took, right here it says it, and none shall buy you. No one's gonna give you a handout. Nobody's gonna help you get free from your debt. Like, it's just a good chance that, and it's a lot of us that, Egypt is basically the house of bondage. So America is modern day Egypt. America is modern day Egypt. A lot of our buildings look like Egypt. A lot of our cities and, towns or whatever, like, a lot of them get their names from Egypt. It's just funny that they do take Egyptian things. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Why? Even if you look at the back of the dollar bill, there's a whole Egyptian pyramid in the back. Like, you can look it up too, Go right here and just search up back of dollar bill. Right? They know what they did. These people not stupid. They know what they did. They know who they serve. They know. That's why I'm like, I honestly, I don't stand with this country at all. Like, this country was built up on this foundation. Believe it or not, Federal Reserve, all these people, is built up on a demonic starting. Like, that foundation is built up on this. Like, whether you like it or not, whether you believe America is your country, you love it, it was still built up on a foundation that was from Satan. Like, it's not the foundation of God that built this place up. Like, it's not Yahweh, you know what I'm saying? It's not Elohim. It's not the Most High. Like, it's this right here that they put on the back of their dollar bill. You know what I'm saying? Aligned with, like, Freemasonry and stuff like that. It's similar. I mean, they're all the same, really. If you don't serve Jesus, by default, you serve Satan. So that's just what it is. Like, it don't matter if you think it's New Age, if it's yoga, if it's Hinduism, Islam, all of it, you're serving Satan. Like, that's just what it is. Also, ancestry worship, that's a big one. A lot of people do it. Nature worship, that's a big one. A lot of people do it. And all of it stems from Babylonian, stems from Babylonian beliefs that were here way before, you know what I'm saying? And they just keep getting passed down, and the names just keep getting changed from a lot of these religions. So yeah, like, all of this stems from Satanism. Like, and if you keep going, if you go to the right side of the dollar bill, one of this is clear. It's just very telling. Not only did the Bible say a nation as swift as, like, a nation as swift as an eagle is gonna overtake the Hebrews, and that's literally the image of America. Everybody thinks of the bald eagle. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just so funny that the bald eagle is just holding up these. I'm not gonna go into this too much. It's funny. It was 13 colonies that were first made. There's 13 tribes. It really. I'm not gonna go too into this, but they know what they did. They knew who they took. They knew who they took. They know what they did. These people wicked. Anyways, America's foundation is rocky, to say the least. Is very rocky. So, um, they came by ships. Yep, they came by ships to modern day Egypt and were enslaved. They were enslaved, and no man is trying to give them any reparations. No one. So it's sad, but it's true, right? Let's keep going, right? So the 400-year prophecy was not fulfilled by the they call themselves Jews, excuse me, by the Jews of today, right? This timeline of the Holocaust is not 400 years. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you try to twist it, they did not go by ships. So they did not fulfill Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. They did not fulfill that. It was not 400 years. They did not fulfill that prophecy. They were not taken to, I mean, we could say like, they were taken to their own land. You know what I'm saying? You could trace back their bloodline, and it comes from Europe. Why did the Germans even go after them? Could it be to disguise them as the people, to make it look like they're the people, so people can have sympathy for them? You know, it's sad to say, but I'm gonna tell you, you current Jews, this: your own people set you up. Your own people set you up like this, and it's messed up, and you should definitely feel a type of way. They deceived you. They made you go into this sad state for a couple years, and then they freed ya. Like, it was your own people that did it to you, because during this time, it's your people that have power. Now, yes, you could call them Zionists, yeah, but they're still your bloodline. It was your people, the Rothschilds, all them higher ups, that they really got the money and they really control the world. They all come from Japheth. They come from Europe. They come from your lands. They ain't coming from parts of Africa. They ain't coming from parts of South America. They ain't coming from parts of India. Like, no, these people are coming from Europe. And they took you into captivity. Like, it wasn't even like captivity. It wasn't 400 years. So, unfortunately, like, you know, I don't know how they lied to y'all this way, this much, but, you know, that prophecy was not fulfilled by you. So we could keep going. So this is a big one. You know, I have a map of Africa right next to the Middle East, right next to the lower parts of Europe, right? The southern parts of Europe, like the northern parts of Europe. I just wanted like a closer part, like next to Judah, you know, where you could see Israel, and then you could see most of the European countries, right? So yeah. So now, if Israel is here, right? Israel is a small little country right here. It's not that big. It's right over here, right? This is the Middle East, right? Now, if your people is getting attacked and they're getting outnumbered and they're getting killed in front of you, are you gonna run north into enemy territory, or are you gonna run down away from enemy territory? So for some reason, I don't know how even people assume that even makes sense. They saying that Israel, they went up north. They saying they went up north. They went up to these regions. That don't even make sense. If it was you, you would run down into Africa, either West Africa or Central Africa, or you'll run down to Saudi Arabia or Yemen or Oman. Right? You're not gonna go up north. Like, I don't know why people would even assume that they went up north. That thinking is weird. That thinking don't even make sense. You're not gonna run into the hands of your enemy. You're gonna run away. So we gonna do a little a little history lesson here, right? So we know that after the flood, Noah had three sons, right? One was named Japheth, one was named Shem, one was named Ham, right? And then we know that Noah put like a curse over Ham. We know that. He said, you're going to be a servant and this, that, and the third. So Noah went in on Ham for what Ham did to him. But anyways, so in the Bible, it directly describes Japheth as being Gentile. Japheth is where the Gentiles came from. And the Japheth settled north. Japheth is, so it's like white people were lied to too. You're not white. That's such a general statement, because you come from the line of Japheth. Asian people too. Y'all come from the line of Japheth. And the ones that settled here are the Gentiles. These are the Gentile nations. Japheth is where the Gentiles come from. You know what I'm saying? They are the coastal people. They rock with the ships. You know what I'm saying? Like, they run with the ships. You know what I'm saying? They are from up here. They always like to travel down and all about. You know what I'm saying? We could see it with Christopher Columbus. But Japheth, he settled up north. Whereas Shem settled here around Israel. You know what I'm saying? Like around the Middle East region, and then Ham settled in Africa. This is where Ham is where the Canaanites come from. The Canaanites is where the Egyptians come from, right? So like Ham has like big history too. But anyway, Japheth settled up north, and it says in Genesis chapter 10 that Japheth had children, and those children were called, like, that's where the Gentiles came from. In Japheth's line, he had a child called Ashkenaz. Landed in Germany. That's where they settled. And it's funny that they call themselves Ashkenazi Jews. It's just is very interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. So I want to go back to prophecy that hasn't been fulfilled yet. And the people that claim to be Jews that say it's fulfilled, it has not been fulfilled yet. They want to say it's been fulfilled and they're in the land flowing with milk and honey, and no, it's not true. Like, come on. So I'm gonna read these verses. I had to put from 1 through 9 just because it's like, it's such an important prophecy, because it's an eye-opening prophecy, and you can see that the people there do not at all fit into this prophecy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this prophecy is not fulfilled by them. They were not taken to the land by the Most High's hand. They were not. They were brought there by the leaders of this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they were brought there. And remember, the Most High said, no one shall redeem you. No one shall buy you. There's no one who's going to go and help them. There's going to be no handouts, really. No one's going to really, really help them. Everybody, a lot of countries they know the truth, and they're not going to say the truth. They know who the Hebrews are, and they're not going to say the truth, which is messed up. It's very messed up. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. This is in Joel chapter 3, right? Verses 1 through 9. So it reads, for behold, in those days and at that time, when I shall have turned the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all the Gentiles. See, this is why I like to read from the Brenton Septuagint version. Because when you look up the definition of Gentile, it just says everyone who's not a Jew. Because Hamites are not Jews. Hamites are not Jews, and Hamites are still around. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are still around. So I don't know why they just try to lump everyone as one. Like, no. Japheth is one, Shem is one, Ham is one. Like, they're different people. Like, I don't know, they come from the same father, but they all did different things. You know, one son listened to the Most High, the other two did not. Like, you know, it's different. Everything boils down to what our ancestors did. Everything boils down to what you do now. Everything that's going to happen to your children in the future boils down to what you are going to do now. You know what I'm saying? So you guys got to pick whether you serving Jesus or what y'all doing, because it boils down. What you do affects your children. And you could even see that in genetics. When I was in college, I studied, partially studied. I'm not going to say I went in. I didn't go in, but I studied epigenetics. And it was just such a fascinating topic, because it just showed that how you lived before could affect how your genetics get passed on to your child. Like, that's sick. So it's just like, you can see it in the physical and you can see it in the spiritual. Things just get passed down. That's why you have to be very careful about what you do, because it will affect your children in the future unknowingly. You know what I'm saying? Just you worshiping Baal, worshiping him unknowingly, you know, going to concerts, seeing artists who, you know, they don't worship the Most High at all. You know what I'm saying? Smoking, drinking, partying, lying, cheating. A lot of stuff can just affect your children. That's why you have to be very careful, you know, how you live. You know, just stay on the Most High's will. Just stay on that path. But anyways, so let's keep going, right? Let's keep going. I'm going to read that again. So it says, I will also gather all the Gentiles and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and my heritage Israel, who have been dispersed. So they've been scattered, and he's talking to the Gentiles, which we know are from Japheth. So let's keep going. Who have been dispersed among the Gentiles. So the Hebrews have been dispersed among Gentile nations, the eagle nations, right? So America, Canada, Britain, Germany, France, them are the big nations that control the world and have a big hand in scattering the people, right? So they've been dispersed among the Gentiles, and these Gentiles have divided my land. So the Most High right here is saying the Gentiles are in the land right now, and they have divided it. Accurate. That's what we're seeing now, right? They're trying to build the third temple. Excuse me? Y'all don't even have the Ark of the Covenant, and y'all will never have it. So, and have cast lots over my people, and had given their boys to harlots, and sold their girls for wine, and have drunk. And what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all Galilee of the Gentiles? Do ye render me a recompense, or do ye bear malice against me? Quickly and speedily will I return your recompense on your own heads, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and ye have brought my choice ornaments into your temples, and ye have sold the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem to the children of the Greeks, that ye might expel them from their coasts. So they not in their lands. Therefore, behold, I will raise them up out of the place whither ye have sold them. So the Most High said, I will do it. It's not going to be people helping. It's going to be the Most High hand, the one that's parted the Red Sea, the one that broke the rock and water came gushing out, the one that came on this land and was rejected by his own people and was killed, resurrected, and sent down his spirit for everybody. That same person is going to come out and regather Israel. The regathering still is not complete. It has not been fulfilled. He said they have been dispersed among the Gentiles. He said this happened. So he's going to bring all the Gentiles down to plead for his people, for his heritage, Israel. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense. It makes sense. But I'm going to keep going. So he says, and I will return your recompense upon your own heads, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them into captivity to a far distant nation, for the Lord has spoken it. So he says this again. I believe it's in the book of Revelation. I could be wrong. But he says those who bring people into captivity will be taken into captivity. So that's what he's basically saying here. Like, you Gentiles took my people and enslaved them. So that same thing he's going to do to them. You know what I'm saying? So Gentiles, y'all better, I don't know, I can't snap, but if I was you, I would get on the Most High side so fast. What you do will affect your children. You know what I'm saying? You gotta act right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about, oh, the Hebrews are black and all this. It is, they are. That's just what they phenotypically look like. But, like, this is also a message to the Gentiles. This is a prophecy. He said, for the Lord has spoken it. So this is going to happen in the future. White people, Gentiles, Japheth, y'all going to get taken into captivity if you do not repent and follow the Most High. Like, so, yeah, the Most High is not happy. And you can see it with this final verse here, or sentence, I should say. It says, proclaim these things among the Gentiles. Declare war, arouse the warriors, draw near and go up, all ye men of war. Like, he's saying, like, prepare for battle type of thing. Like, this is not gonna be, they're gonna hate the Hebrews. Like, the world is gonna just really hate the Hebrews. It's gonna be really, really, like, it's gonna have to be like war. So yeah, I'm gonna just stay on the side of the Most High Elohim. You know what I'm saying? Stay on the side of Yahshua HaMashiach, because I'm not trying to be sold. I'm not trying to be sold. Yeah, it's not a laughing matter, but it's very scary. When I get nervous, I start laughing. So yeah, that prophecy is very scary. And then we could continue in Joel's prophecy, right? In verse 17, it says, and ye shall know that I am Yahuwah, right? I am Adonai your Elohim, who dwell in Zion, my holy mountain. Holy, right? Mind you, holy. That's a big one. Holy mountain. And Jerusalem shall be holy, and strangers shall not pass through her anymore. Now we know. There ain't no peace in the Middle East. Strangers are passing all up and through her. So we know that this Joel prophecy in chapter 3 just has not been fulfilled. It's not a land flowing with waters abundantly. It's not the Most High that brought his people there. It's not a holy land. And strangers are passing all up and through her. So we know for a fact that this prophecy has not been fulfilled yet. Like, his people are still dispersed. They're still scattered among the Gentile nations. Yes. So again, they ain't no peace in the Middle East. Sadly, the Palestinians there, the Palestinians, I believe they are from the they at least come from Abraham. I believe they at least come from Abraham. I don't know if Isaac and Jacob, but I know they definitely come from Abraham. So, um, I don't know exactly how, you know, the prophecy falls on them, but anyway, we know that the Palestinians and the Israelis always butting head. There was just a war, you know what I'm saying, with them not long ago, you know what I'm saying, where Israel was showcasing a lot of their weapons that they have that they got from America, because America is just giving them all the bread, you know what I'm saying, like just giving them our tax dollars. And the war, just the Russian and Ukrainian war, like, has just been, you know what I'm saying, like, it's the same people, it's the same Japheth running, the Gentiles running all up and through there, you know what I'm saying. Like, they just giving each other the money that they have hoarded up, you know what I'm saying. America is wicked. Like, that's it. America can't help its own people, but it's helping out Ukraine. Okay. But yeah, we know that this prophecy has not been fulfilled, and it's clear. Plus, Yahshua is going to be in the middle of it all. He's going to be on the mountain of Zion. He's going to be there. You know what I'm saying? They don't even believe in the Messiah. So, whatever fake Messiah, fake Antichrist, you know, the Antichrist that comes out of there is going to really be, I don't even know. I don't know if it's going to particularly come out of there. I'm not going to say that. You know what I'm saying? But they saying a quote unquote Messiah is there now. Abba, please just get this ball rolling. You know what I'm saying? So we could get judgment going. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't anymore. So I'm gonna go and show you guys the dream that not only dream, the prophecy that the Most High gave to Abram before he was Abram, right? And it's in Genesis 15 verse 13 through 14, and it reads, "And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge." Again, he's bringing the Gentiles, bringing them to the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of judgment, right? He said, "I will judge them, and afterward shall they come out with great substance." So the Most High is breaking it down. He says, first, y'all gonna go into captivity 400 years, right? And you're gonna serve a strange nation, right? America is a strange nation. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know of America. They only knew of, like, the other Gentile regions that, like, were already up there. You know what I'm saying? Like the Romans and all that, the Greeks. They knew about them, but they didn't know about America. You know what I'm saying? How were they gonna know? You know what I'm saying? That was in the future. But anyways, he said it was gonna be, they were gonna serve them, and that people was gonna afflict them for 400 years, right? And then the Most High flipped it, right? He flips it at the end. Like, the Most High just be flipping things, you know. He be flipping it, right? He said, "And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge." I'm like, what? And he said, "And afterward shall they come out with great substance." So just like the Egyptians, when they came out of Egypt, they spoiled the Egyptians. They would spoil a lot of the other, like the Amorites and all them other ites. They spoiled all of them too. You know what I'm saying? They was taking the silver, the gold, unless the Most High was like, "Don't take that, don't take this." You know what I'm saying? They would take the silvers, the gold. Like, they come out with great substance. So, like I said, no man will help them. So the Most High is going to put it to a place. He already has the plan set, but he going to take them out, and they're going to come out with a great substance. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be a great substance. That's what he said, right? So we can go back in history, right? You could search this up on Google, right? You can just search up, when was the first African slave brought to America? When you search it up, I have this here. So it says the 1619 landing, Virginia's first Africans. So this is where I get the number 1619, right? So it reads, in late August 1619, 20 to 30 enslaved Africans landed at Point Comfort, today's Fort Monroe, in Hampton, Virginia, aboard the Virginia privateer ship White Lion. In Virginia, these Africans were traded in exchange for supplies. You know what I'm saying? What the Most High said, you sold a boy for a harlot, you sold a girl so you could get a drink of wine, you know what I'm saying, so you could get drunk. So they were traded for supplies, and several days later, a second ship called the Treasurer arrived in Virginia with additional enslaved Africans. Both groups had been captured by the English privateers. The English, Gentile region, right? Japheth. So the English privateer from the Spanish slave ship San Juan Bautista. They are the first recorded Africans to arrive in England's mainland American colonies. So this all happened in 1619. That's all you really need to know. You know what I'm saying? The other history you learn during history class, if you're in America, we know. But we don't really know like the torture they really went through. But again, the Most High said that 400 years, y'all gonna get afflicted, and it happened for 400 years. So the first American slaves were brought here in 1619, and if you do 2019 minus 1619, it marks the 400 years of like the end of the affliction, right? The end of the 400 years. Now, when we think about it, right? When we think about it, what did the Most High say after the affliction was complete? What is he gonna do? He said, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. That's why I put that in dark red, man. Gonna be a lot of judging, a lot of blood. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. No good things is gonna happen when the Most High is judging you based off of how you treated slaves, because we know they were treated very, very poorly, so horrifically. Like, a slave was what, 3/5 of a person? Like, they were throwing babies to crocodiles, they were raping men, like, it was just making siblings sleep with each other. Like, it was a lot of just demonic things these people were doing, and that's just from what we know. Like, I try not to research it too much because it just gets really gruesome and really scary. Like, I'm sure they were absolutely tortured, you know, for 400 years. It was really like sick. There's a lot of movies on it, and I don't even watch the movies anymore. Like, I'm not watching no Django Unchained. Like, I'm not watching none of it. It just makes me sick. It really makes me sick. It's really sick. Yeah, so 2019 marked the end of the 400 years, right? The biblical 400 years of slavery, right? So if we think about it, right? So what happened in 2019? Something very crazy happened in 2019. So what happened in 2019, right? It's very easy to remember. Can't say it on here, but you know what it is. Y'all know what happened. Them nations was, say it with me, judged. They were judged. A A lot of people lost their lives because of this. And again, this was devised by Japheth. You know what I'm saying? Like, Japheth made the virus, spread it out, people got sick. You know the end of the story, right? A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people had to put poison in them just to survive in this world. Like, a lot of things happened in 2019. A lot of people even committed suicide because they lost their job because of how bad the economy just went left, and a lot of people weren't prepared, and a lot of people committed suicide. A lot of people died on top of it. You know, young children died. It's like, it's very, very telling because it affected the world. Like, this affected the world. So he said he gonna judge the Gentiles, but he's also gonna judge the nations that afflicted his people. So yeah, a lot of basically the world is conspiring against Israel, which is crazy to think about, that the world, they know who the real people are, but they're keeping silent. Judgment is just going to continue happening. Floods, earthquakes. We're going to see signs in the sky. We're going to see two suns. I don't know what we're going to see, but it's going to be crazy. I'm sure the winters are going to get crazy. I'm sure they're planning things with HAARP. They just looking for things. A lot of things people think it's all them. Some things are the Most High. You know what I'm saying? The Most High does a lot of stuff, and he judges the nations. He judges them. Australia, judge. You know what I'm saying? Like, them nations, them Gentiles especially, who afflicted their people, afflicted his people, they're gonna get judged. Very, very harshly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really sad, but yeah, that's why you see the Gentiles, they're talking about time being up, last call. You know what I'm saying? They know what they know what they know. They know that the time of the Gentiles is coming to an end. They know this, and it's written. Until where is it? Romans, right here. Okay, so when you go down to verse 25, it reads, "For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part is happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in." Right? Until the fullness of the Gentiles. What is Paul even talking about here? The fullness of the Gentiles. And then he talks about the blindness happening in Israel. Now, granted, Judah did give up the Messiah, and they wanted him dead, and they said his blood is on them and their children. So they were bugging out, to say the least. So, they went into slavery. They were not listening to the Most High. They gave up the Most High when he was right in front of them, because he was checking their hearts. He was like, y'all not acting right, and your thoughts are wicked. Your thoughts and actions are all wicked. It's just like, y'all all wicked. Y'all all need to change. They didn't want to change, so they decided to kill him. But that's still fulfilling prophecy, because he resurrected anyway. So it's just funny how that all happened. And the Judah basically gave the Messiah. They gave the Messiah to the Gentiles. They gave him to Pilate, right? They gave the Messiah to the Gentiles. So they gave the Savior to them, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? They didn't accept them. One of my brothers in the Messiah, he broke it down for me. He was like, they gave up their salvation and they gave it to the Gentiles. So the Gentiles had their time, because of what Judah did, you know. So the fullness of the Gentiles is basically at when the prophecy started and ended, that was the time of the Gentiles. You know, the Gentiles had their fullness, you know. After this time they had like a lot of a lot of things, the they basically run the world, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we look at the richest people in the world, is them, is the Gentiles. You know, they running the world. You know, judgment is gonna happen. He's gonna gather the people. He's gonna plead for his people. He's gonna gather the Gentiles. He's gonna plead for his people there, and they're not gonna wanna let them go. The Gentiles are not gonna wanna let the Hebrews go. Just like Pharaoh did not want to let the Hebrews go, and God hardened his heart. The Most High Elohim hardened his heart. The Pharaoh did not want to let them go, and in our Father Abba hardening his heart, yes, their treatment became worse, but they not only did the Egyptians got to see the hand of the Most High, but the Hebrews too got to see the hand of the Most High. The only difference with that Exodus and the Exodus that's going to happen soon is that, I'm not going to say soon, we still have time, but it's going to happen soon. The difference is that the Egyptians and the Hebrews knew that they were Hebrews back then. Right now, currently, they don't know that they are Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know. They think they're just Black Americans. They think they're just from Brazil. They think they're just from Puerto Rico. They think they're just from Honduras. They think they're just from Britain. They think they're just from Nigeria. They think they're just from Ghana. Like, they don't really know, you know, that they are the Hebrews, you know. And the Hebrews also lacked back then in getting people to follow the Most High. That was the whole point of him choosing those people, is for all the other nations to see how good it was to follow the Most High. You know what I'm saying? He wanted people to make their own choice, but the Hebrews, you know, they didn't follow the Most High. They actually followed the gods of the other nations. They didn't follow Elohim. You know what I'm saying? They didn't follow the Creator. They didn't follow El Shaddai. They followed Baal. They followed Molech. They followed all these other demons. You know what I'm saying? They built, they made little statues, little teraphims. They got the liver, examining the liver. Like, I don't know. These people was weird. They was doing a lot of stuff that was twisted too, and the Most High did not like it, and that's another reason why they went into slavery. They were doing a lot of things that the Most High spoke against. He said, do not take other people's ways in their worshiping of their gods and do it for me, which is what we do when we celebrate Christmas, which is what we do when we celebrate Easter, which is what we do when we celebrate Thanksgiving. You know, we're doing things that the other nations did to worship their gods, their demons. You know what I'm saying? The same thing they did. They made a tree. They put ornaments on a tree. And then we take that and we say, this is Jesus' birthday. And that don't even biblically make sense. It don't even biblically make sense. Jesus came during the fall season. Why did we put him smack in the middle of the winter? Like, what? And then it's like Easter is a whole bunny and an egg, and it's just like, what are we even doing? He gave us his own feast days. He gave us so many holy days to celebrate. There's so many different days that his Feast of Tabernacles is supposed to be for 7 days. We're supposed to be eating big for 7 days. We don't even do that. I don't know why the church has really, like, they've done a number in getting people to worship God the same way the pagans did. They did a number in doing that, because now everybody does it. Even people who don't believe in Jesus celebrate Christmas. Because why? Because it has nothing to do with him. has nothing to do with Jesus. So, the church of today, they've, I mean, they could have even they could have became deceived by this as well. So I'm not coming hard on them, but as teachers of the word, we should really be reading the word, and you're supposed to be teaching it accurately. And if you don't know if this is from the Most High, like, you should really be fasting and praying, especially if you are a teacher. You are a pastor, you know what I'm saying, to a church. They're all listening to you. So if you're promoting Christmas and you're saying it's Jesus' birthday, like, the congregation is going to follow you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Jesus, the teachers get judged harsh. You know what I'm saying? With quickness. So even I got to be careful because I'm over here teaching. So, I mean, I know for a fact that Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, they're all pagan holidays. Even people who don't celebrate these holidays, they know Christmas is pagan and Easter has nothing to do with Jesus anyway. So it's just it's hard to not celebrate it, especially because it's like your whole family is coming together type of thing. It's like a oneness, in the house. So it does feel fuzzy and warm, but we know that Jesus came to bring that sword. Everyone say sword. So he came to bring in the sword. So he said he gonna split up families because you are following him. People not gonna like you. He said the world hated me first, so they gonna hate you too. That's what Jesus said. He preparing us. He's like, preparing your mind. Just prepare your mind that people gonna hate you. Like, people gonna hate you because you're following me. So yeah, a lot of these things have pagan roots, and you should really research it yourself. Don't just go off of what I'm saying. You can research the origins of Thanksgiving, of Easter, and of Christmas. And even biblically, none of these holidays are in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus never said worship me on my birthday. Like, they don't even give his birth date. So how are you going to celebrate his birthday? That don't make sense. There's nowhere. First of all, Thanksgiving, we all know the Pilgrims and the Native Americans. It's just never good when it comes to them. It's never good. And then Easter, like, come on, like, bunny and eggs, like, that's what it's made. Like, that's the when people hear Easter, that's what they don't even think about Jesus. They don't even think about Jesus. Like, so we should really not be celebrating these pagan holidays anymore. A lot of my family looked at me side-eyed when I said I don't celebrate it anymore. They're like, why? I was like, because it's not biblical. And they're like, what? But the church does it. So it's like, you just have to just stay quiet and just stay on your own. Go to your room, shut the door, watch a video. It's just like, read your Bible, stay quiet. Because it's like, they're not going to understand. They're still living in the world, so they still want to do things the world does. So they're not going to understand why you don't want to partake in that paganism. Like, why you don't want, because you done your research, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are. You know what it is. You are a child of the Most High. You are his daughter. You are his son. You're not partaking in this. I have the Holy Spirit in me. I'm not doing it. Period. So, yeah. Yes, sir. Let me go back to here. So, so we know that the tribulation has to happen in order for his people to wake up. Tribulation has to happen. Now, sadly, Kanye was like the first one to Kanye already has such a big following. So for him to say it, it really did open up people's ears. You know what I'm saying? People definitely are hearing what he's saying. And then Kyrie backed him up after, you know what I'm saying? So, the whole point of the book of tribulation is to wake up Israel, because not only is he judging the Gentile nations that scattered his people and enslaved them, but he has to wake up his people because his people don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know who they are. So it's gonna be really interesting, um what's gonna happen in these upcoming years. A lot more, I know a lot more black celebrities are gonna be, they're gonna come to truth. And um yeah, they're gonna come to truth. So, you know I just gonna keep praying. I'm gonna actually say a prayer right now for the both of them, for Kanye and Kyrie. um Father God, I pray, Father, that you continue to cover Kanye and Kyrie. Well, he goes by Ye now. So I pray that you continue to cover Ye and Kyrie, Father. Cover them with your blood, Father. Yahshua, guide them. Yahshua, put them on the right path, Father. Keep them in your will. Don't let them do anything out of your will, Father. Keep them safe, Father, from the powers that be in this world that is trying to silence them, Father. Father, continue to bless them for being courageous enough to tell the people who they are, Father. In Yahshua's name I pray. Amen. Yes. So just a covering for them. Really quick prayer. I know they're gonna really need it because they're gonna be attacked left and right, left and right, left and right. So if you want to dig further into this truth about the Hebrew thing, there's two channels I watch to that help me study. A good channel. Her videos are like spot on. Like, when I say, there's certain people, I feel like there's like a gift of research. Like, they can just research very well. She's one of them. Like, she is one of them. She can back it up. She has a lot of videos. I feel like there's no point of me going into depth when someone already did it so well and is a part of the body of the Messiah. So yeah, she's really waking up Israel, and she's doing it well. So this is one channel that I watch. Her name again is Gates of Hudla. Excuse me. And then another channel I watch is Truth Unedited. His channel is more popular. Yeah, this is him. So he just released a Thanksgiving video. That's why I brought up pagan days, pagan feast days, pagan holidays, because I watched this one and it just like, I just have to say it because it's like, yeah, it has to be said because we really need to stop doing it. It does not make the Most High happy at all, and it's easy to stop celebrating it. It's actually easier, to just lay in bed that day and do nothing. Like, I don't know why people act like it's so difficult. Just log off of your social medias. Don't look at it. Don't contact any of your family during that time, and then activate it on the 26th. I don't know. Activate it after the holidays pass or whatever. But yeah, this is another good channel. Truth Unedited is another good channel for the truth about the Hebrews. You can go to his playlist. His playlist of the history of religion is super good. He has so many different playlists. But he is someone, I feel like he waits on the Most High, and he waits to release videos. He researches very well. He knows scripture, so he's another good channel. I support them too really hard. Yeah. So the dry bones are waking up, man, from Ezekiel. They're waking up. This is really exciting. The faster the Hebrews wake up, the faster we get out of here, man. Faster judgment goes. Like, come on, we ready to go. Like, either way, if I'm not a Hebrew, like Paul said, I am grafted in, so I'm a part of the tree. My branch is right there. So, um, but I know that like this is a big part. Them waking up is a big part, you know, a big, 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 big part of um the end times, a big part of the tribulation, and him bringing his people back is gonna be a big exodus. That's why, you know, the media is using exodus all the time. They're saying exodus. These people, it's such a big amount of people leaving, and then they call it an exodus. You know why? Because Japheth, the Esau, Edom, they know what's coming. They know their time is up, and they know another exodus is gonna take place. But this time, Yahshua is gonna come back for his people, and it's gonna be big. So, you guys have a blessed night, and I hope that you guys research what I have, the evidence I've given you, and just do your own study on it, and just wait on the Most High. A lot of people need to have patience, and they have to wait. Just wait on the Most High. Like, you can get a lot more knowledge when you just wait on him. So just wait on him. Like David, just wait. Be blessed, everyone, and have have a very holy life. Continue living your life like you're thinking about your children and not passing down any more curses. You want to pass down some blessings, blessings. Yeah. So, yeah. Peace out.